All right. So, as you all can see, today we are ranking the top 10 non quarterbacks in this year's draft class. Now, I'm taking a few things into consideration here as I rank these players. Number one, to me, positional value does matter to some extent. Number two, upside and potential also matter as we're ranking these guys as prospects, not finished products. And then number three, ultimately, how much can these players impact the game when they're at their best? Maybe looking 3, 4 years down the line when they're peaking, when they're playing at their best, essentially. So I am going to be, as a fair warning, I'm going to be looking down a little bit more today since there are so many key attributes and a bunch of things that all of these guys do really well. And I want to make sure I hit on all of those. So bear with me as I'm going to be looking down a little bit more today. But with that said, let's jump into it. Now, I'm not overthinking the room here. It was a pretty close call at number one, but I am going to go with Marvin Harrison Jr. I do believe that not only I think, but also there's a widely considered consensus that he is a generational prospect at the wide receiver position. And although he didn't participate in the combine or at the Ohio State Pro Day, I think his tape is so good that it's hard to pass up on him. The first thing that stands out with Marvin Harrison is really just the size. I mean, he looks the part when you look at him, even when he lines up on the line of scrimmage, just looks like a prototypical wide receiver one. His suddenness and his unpredictability with his route running. I mean, he's really a technician. He sets up defensive backs really well. And his route running versatility at all three levels, that was one of the biggest things that stood out to me when I was watching him. Just the fact that he's underneath, he's intermediate, and he's deep, and he doesn't feel uncomfortable in any of those areas. Also, how about the instincts in and around the sideline? In terms of getting his feet down inbounds, I thought he did a fantastic job at catching balls near the sideline and making sure his feet were in bounds. Oftentimes, both feet. Often wins in contested catch situations, body control and flexibility. He's actually a pretty fluid mover considering his size. And also underrated ball carrier vision after the catch. I mean, again, given his size, pretty impressive mover with the ball in his hands. So I will say he's close to the complete package. There are actually things that the other receivers in this class do a little bit better than him, but I think he's closest to being the most complete package at the receiver position in this year's class. Um, then I want to get to a comment here. Sammy, thoughts on Bo Nix? I want to get to Bo Nix at another episode. Today we're talking about the non-quarterbacks in this year's class, but you can check out one of my other episodes where I talked about pro readiness or upside and potential with the quarterbacks, but I appreciate the comment. All right, I want to get to the second best non-quarterback in this year's draft class. And I went with Malik Nabers here. Now, honestly, the biggest reason I had Harrison above Nabers was because of the size difference. I think Harrison can just be really dominant, particularly in the red zone. But this is a close second. I also view Nabers as a generational wide receiver prospect. Now, in terms of the eye test, I really think his speed stands out. Just his separation down the field. Best in the class when he has free access and excess space to work with, which is why I have been giving him this lofty comp of Tyreek Hill. I do see some similarities there ultimately. Extremely effective after the catch, hard to tackle, and good ball carrier vision again for Malik Nabers. Just elite level movement ability, and from the quick twitch acceleration to the speed, very impressive there. Just elite level movement ability. There's no doubt about that. Has become a great route runner. And again, to all parts of the field, similar to Marvin Harrison, doesn't feel uncomfortable at any part of the field running routes. Big time confidence and demeanor. I mean, the guy wants to be wide receiver one. He wants to be the best player on the field. I really like that about him. And again, the thing that a lot of the experts have been saying about Nabers that I agree with is that he's the most explosive receiver in the class. He just separates at all three levels. And then we're going to get to number 3. And although you may have thought there'd be a run on receivers here, I'm actually going to go to the tackle position on the offensive line. And this might surprise some of you, but I'm going to go with Olu Fashanu. Again, Fashanu has the tools, some believe, to become a top 5 left tackle in the NFL someday. So that was a big reason I had him high up here, since we are considering upside and potential. Just an ideal body type. Size and length are there. Explosive, but also graceful, getting into his stance, and great lateral movement considering his size. Does a great job of mirroring in pass protection. Has strong hands that make it hard for defenders to disengage. And the other thing about him that I really like is that even at this point, as an unfinished product, I think he's the best in the class at going up against versatile pass rushers, guys that have an array of moves, guys that can win with speed or win with power. I think he's the best at this point. Now, he needs to become more technically sound, but again, I think he's got the highest potential for the tackles in this draft class. And at number 4, we're going to go back to the receiver position with Rome Odunze. Eye test, his strength stands out, plays with physicality, smooth runner in and out of cuts, even considering his size and strength. And he really excels at winning in contested catch situations. Hard to bring down after the catch, more so because of his strength. Tracks the ball well in the air, especially down the field. We saw so many of those balls from Michael Penix where Odunze is running vertical down the field and he just gets his head up, tracks that ball, finds it in the air, and makes a winning catch. Great quickness and suddenness, uses his power to be explosive in short areas. I do want to get to another comment here with my guy, John Michael. How far ahead do you have Fashanu over Alt? I'm going to get to Alt really soon because I do like Alt a lot. But actually, as we finish up number 4, I'm getting to number 5. And this was nearly interchangeable between Alt and another player, but I am going to give this other player a slight edge. And I'm actually going to go with Brock Bowers here. Now, a big reason for that is because many have said that he has one of the highest floors in the class. I mean, he came into the college level and was productive immediately, just right out of the gate. You know, and we've seen how top flight tight ends can impact a game at the NFL level. And with the positional value and the individual talent, I just couldn't slide Brock Bowers much lower. But I do have Joe Alt right behind him at number 6. But I want to take some time to talk about Brock Bowers here. So just excellent movement skills considering the position and the body type. Very good at running after the catch and running in space. Great positional versatility. Underrated blocker, does need to get a little bit stronger though. Very good hands and is pretty good at catching in traffic as well. Often made impact plays during his time at Georgia. And then he's really just known for catching the ball on the run, running after the catch, picking up yards in the short to intermediate levels. But then he can also high point a catch down the field and come down with it. So I think he's just an absolute weapon. I want to get to another comment here with my guy, John Michael again. Do you like the Kittle comp for Bowers? I see it to some extent. The more I think about it, the more I like it. They're obviously both really good after the catch. Kittle obviously better at this point at blocking. But yeah, I don't mind that comp at all. Again, it's pretty lofty because, as we know, Kittle is one of the best tight ends in the game. But as many experts have said, Bowers has one of the highest floors in this class. He's nearly a can't miss. So I couldn't slide him much lower here. And now we're getting to Joe Alt. And the main reason I had Alt behind Fashanu as a tackle in this ranking was really because I see Fashanu as a more explosive athlete with higher upside. So now, with that said, Alt is still a great prospect in his own right. So let's get to the positives with Alt. Ultimately, the eye test, his size stands out. I mean, he just looks like a prototypical left tackle, no doubt about it. And then still light on his feet considering his height and size. Good lateral quickness, and really does a nice job of kicking out specifically against speed rushers. has instincts for the position, plays with good balance, utilizes his extreme length, and is capable of becoming a very good left tackle in the NFL. So I couldn't slide Joe Alt any lower here. He's also got a pretty high floor, similar to Brock Bowers. But I do have Joe Alt at number 6. Then at number 7, I've got a bit of a wild card here. I'm actually going to go with Quinyon Mitchell from Toledo. I really like him. Some positional value too, as we know that at times cornerback can be an important position in the NFL. Prototypical look, size, and length are there. Really elite movement skills, specifically with the burst and the closing speed. He's got that in his bag. And he excels in off-man coverage when he's lined up, 5, 7, even 10 yards off his man. And because of that burst and closing speed, he can close a lot of space in a hurry and make a play on the ball. Great top end speed, can keep up with fast receivers, good ball skills, and is really a feisty competitor, doesn't shy away from contact. So we're getting to our last 3 here. So at number 8, I'm going to go back to the tackles, and I've got Talise Fuaga from Oregon State. Positional value and versatility too, as he projects to play at right tackle, but could even play at guard as well, maybe in his early years in the NFL. Great combination of size, power, and balance. Those are the 3 things that tie together with him. His strength may be run blocking, but that doesn't even take away from his pass blocking either. He can be a really good pass blocker too. He just loves to get downhill, find second level defenders, and really wipe them out in the run game. Really uses his strength in both the run and pass protecting game. And again, like I said, still effective in pass pro, plays with great leverage and balance there. So I've got Fuaga at number 8. He's also one of those, to me, he's kind of a can't miss. I see a high floor for him. At number 9, we're going back to another defensive player. I've got Dallas Turner here from Alabama, just a modern prototypical edge player, if you will, plays with great leverage, shows relentless pursuit of the quarterback, has the strength to hold up in the run game, does a good job of getting underneath offensive linemen and maintaining good leverage. Very explosive athlete in general. I would like to see him work on his bend and fluidity in pass rushing situations. I actually think the pass rusher from UCLA bends a little bit better, but I think Dallas Turner can get there eventually. Man, we've gone through these pretty fast, but I'm already at number 10. And again, this is going to be another wild card here. And I want to say this about this next player. In 2, 3, 4 years, we could be looking back, and maybe I would even say, yeah, I probably should have had him in the top 5, maybe even top 4 or 3 in this class, as crazy as that may sound. I'm going to go with my guy, Brian Thomas, the wide receiver from LSU. Just the potential is sky high. I mean, excels at running vertical routes down the field. Many have said that he has that second or third gear that he can get to running down the field, which I really like. One of my favorite things about him is his freaky short area quickness, considering his size. I mean, the guy moves very well in short areas. Considering the fact that he's 6'4", showed the ability to win in contested catch situations, has great ball skills. And then, again, I'll say it, absolute prototypical combination of plus size plus movement ability that make up a wide receiver 1. Again, there's a chance we're looking back and we're going, how was Brian Thomas Jr. not a top 15, top 10 pick in the 2024 NFL draft? So that's going to do it for my 10 best non-quarterback players in the 2024 draft. I want to let you guys know that although it's been a little more quiet over the past couple of weeks on this channel, over the next couple of weeks leading into the NFL draft, which is actually 2 weeks from today, I definitely want to ramp it up with the NBA play-in tournament and the NBA playoffs coming up. And then obviously, like I said, the NFL draft. So I want to get to one more comment here with my guy, John Michael. Again, breaking news, former Heisman Trophy winner and NFL MVP O.J. Simpson has just died. Wow. I'm kind of speechless on that one, but prayers out to OJ's family. Yeah, you caught me off guard there, John Michael, but yeah, that's too bad. Prayers up, no doubt about that. All right, thank you guys for watching. Again, stay tuned over the next couple of weeks as I want to get into the NBA play-in tournament, NBA playoffs, and more with the draft, as it is only 2 weeks away. So thanks for watching, guys, and stay tuned.